There's nothing great about taking punishment, being able to talk, voicing your opinion, and then when you're in a position where you can't talk and you can barely walk, the world want to say that, oh,
see, he don't see this fight going a distance. Neither does I.
He went 12 hard rounds with him, so he knows exactly how good Manny Pacquiao is. Floyd Mayweather has issued a serious warning to Mario Barrios about taking on PacMan, believing the young contender is making a major mistake by accepting a fight against the seasoned, battle-tested legend. While the popular narrative favors Barrios for his youth and hunger, Floyd holds an unpopular opinion. He believes Manny still has what it takes to beat the WBC welterweight champion. Let's take a closer look at exactly what Floyd had to say as he urged Barrios to tread carefully heading into this fight. Boxing is often called a young man's sport, or at least that's what they say. The reflexes fade, the legs slow down, and the punches don't land quite the same. But what happens when an older fighter still moves like he did 15 years ago? What if he can still keep up with, and beat, the new blood of the sport? That's exactly the situation Manny Pacquiao finds himself in today. At 46 years old, Pacquiao is far past the typical retirement age for most fighters. But here's the twist, he doesn't look like it. He's still lightning fast, his footwork remains razor-sharp, and that signature explosiveness hasn't gone anywhere. While many analysts are quick to point out that Mario Barrios has youth and momentum on his side, not everyone is counting Manny out. In fact, a few boxing legends are speaking up, and they are putting their faith, figuratively of course, in PacMan. One of those legends is Vasily Lomachenko, who recently stated that age won't be a factor for Manny in this fight. According to Loma, Pacquiao still moves just as well as he did a decade ago. Coming from Lomachenko, arguably one of the most technically gifted fighters of our time, that's extremely high praise.
Very strong, he's very fast. And still Manny Pacquiao looks like 10 years ago.
The more surprising supporter? None other than Floyd "Money" Mayweather. Yes, that Floyd Mayweather, the same man who fought Pacquiao in 2015 in what was billed as the fight of the century. The same man who, by many accounts, outboxed and outpointed Manny over 12 rounds to secure a unanimous decision. But despite that victory, Floyd isn't dismissing Pacquiao's chances in this upcoming showdown with Barrios. In fact, he's issuing a clear warning to the younger fighter.
One of the most important things about my career was my defense.
Some people tend to brush off Manny's legacy simply because he lost to Floyd. But let's be real, losing to Mayweather isn't exactly something to be ashamed of. Floyd dominated an entire generation of fighters. He's one of the smartest, most elusive boxers the sport has ever seen. If anyone knows how good Manny Pacquiao is, it's the man who shared the ring with him for 36 minutes. And what is Floyd saying now? He believes Barrios is making a mistake, a big mistake. Floyd's take is that Barrios may be underestimating what it really means to step in the Pacquiao. It's not just about age or even speed. It's about experience, ring IQ, and that relentless fighting spirit Manny brings every time he steps through the ropes. According to Floyd, Pacquiao still has it, and he's warning Barrios not to take that lightly.
Day in and day out, he go out there and he produce. And that's what it's really about. It's about producing. A hell of a training team, I can't.
Think about it. Pacquiao isn't just some retired legend making a comeback to collect a paycheck. This isn't an exhibition match. This isn't a novelty act. He's stepping back into the ring to win. And if you've followed his career, you know Manny doesn't do things halfway. The man is a machine when it comes to discipline, training, and preparing for war. Of course, that doesn't mean Barrios is a pushover. He's got youth, reach, and a hunger to prove himself. He's been impressive in his recent outings, and there's no doubt he's looking at this fight as his big moment, the chance to add a legend to his resume. But that's where things get dangerous. Overconfidence against a guy like Pacquiao can cost you everything.
Manny has so much experience, that man, he could get through anything. As long as they have the right plan, whatever they do, man, they have he'll be able.
Let's not forget what makes Manny so special. The angles. The footwork. The combinations that come out of nowhere. Those are things you can't prepare for by just watching tape. You have to live it in the ring. And by the time you realize what's happening, you might already be on the canvas.
Leonard said when I was in the back, Leonard said, he don't see this fight going the distance. Neither does I.
Floyd's concern seems rooted in one thing: respect. He knows firsthand how tricky Manny can be. Despite winning their bout, Mayweather had to be at his absolute best to outpoint Pacquiao. That wasn't an easy night, and Floyd knows Barrios might be walking into a far tougher test than he realizes. When you're Floyd Mayweather, one of the most dominant and undefeated fighters in the history of boxing, people are always curious: who gave you the toughest fight? After all, Floyd's faced a who's who of boxing legends: De La Hoya, Canelo, Mosley, Hatton, and more.
At any point, did a fighter ever make you feel like...
But when Floyd was asked which opponent truly pushed him to the limit, his answer wasn't just interesting, it was a huge compliment. Floyd said that when he thinks back on the hardest fights of his career, one stands out. He remembers being in the third or fourth round, realizing that the battle ahead would be long, grueling, and unlike anything he'd experienced before. That fight was against Manny Pacquiao.
No, but I've been in a fight. I get like in the third or fourth round, like, tonight gonna be a rough...
Yes, the Filipino boxer who carved his name into boxing history by winning titles in an unprecedented 8 weight divisions, starting at 108 pounds and climbing all the way to 154. Think about that, from flyweight to light middleweight, beating top-tier fighters and knocking them out along the way. Floyd admitted that Pacquiao was relentless. "I had to keep my distance," he said, because Manny just wouldn't stop coming forward. Every second, every round, Pacquiao was charging ahead, looking to land punches from wild angles. And Floyd knew, even with all his defensive brilliance, that this wasn't a guy you could afford to get careless against. In another interview, Floyd expressed how amazed he was by Pacquiao's career. How could someone climb so many divisions and still remain dangerous in every single one? It's not just that Manny moved up in weight, it's that he destroyed opponents along the way, often with spectacular knockouts. That kind of power, speed, and durability across divisions is something we might never see again.
Okay. One of the best fighters I faced was Manny Pacquiao. He's a future Hall of Famer.
What the f is it about Manny, man? He just don't stop coming.
But you know me, I keep my distance because he's real short.
But it wasn't just the resume that impressed Floyd, it was the experience of actually fighting Pacquiao. Floyd went on to say that Manny Pacquiao was the best fighter he ever faced in the ring. Let that sink in. Coming from a guy who's never lost a professional fight and who's shared the ring with so many elite names, that's one of the highest compliments you can give. According to Floyd, what made Manny so difficult was his flashy movement, the awkward angles, the unpredictable footwork, the punches that came from directions nobody else could manage. It was all part of what made Pacquiao so special.
I just want to say this to the world. It's amazing how a fighter can come from, I think, 108 all the way to 154 and knock out all these guys. To me, it's amazing. I guess he's just blessed.
While facing him, Floyd had a realization. This is why Pacquiao has beaten so many top fighters. It wasn't just speed or aggression, it was the subtle, unique things Manny did in the ring that no one else could copy. Movements that couldn't be mimicked, let alone defended.
The best fighter of our party was Manny Pacquiao because of his movement.
And when Pacquiao eventually retired, Floyd didn't hesitate to praise him. He called Manny one of the best fighters of all time, giving him GOAT-tier respect. For all the pre-fight trash talk and rivalry between them, when it was all said and done, Floyd showed nothing but admiration.
He's a hell of a fighter, and I can see why he won so many fights, and I can see why he's going down as a Hall of Famer. It's just certain moves that he...
Now here's where it gets really interesting. Because Floyd knows firsthand what it's like to share the ring with Pacquiao, he recently issued a warning to Mario Barrios, the young fighter set to face the legendary PacMan. And this wasn't just a casual comment. Floyd sounded genuinely concerned. He said straight up, "It's not worth it." Taking that kind of punishment from someone like Manny just to chase greatness? That's a dangerous road. Pacquiao throws a ton of punches, And even if you're blocking some of them, the damage still adds up. According to Floyd, that kind of sustained punishment, especially from a guy like Manny, can have long-term consequences. We're talking serious effects on the brain, the body, even the ability to walk and talk properly later in life.
Manny Pacquiao, I think that he's one of the best. He's one of the best. We was able to come together and not. We didn't come together when we wanted to, but we was able to come together and get a fan.
Look at guys like Sugar Ray Robinson. You guys look at certain fighters like Muhammad Ali. There's nothing great about taking punishment, being able to talk, voicing your opinion, and then when you're in a position where you can't talk and you can barely walk, the world want to say that if I got to be put in that position to be great, then that's not for me.
Mayweather has been in the sport long enough to know what it takes and what it costs. And as a former champion with decades of experience, his advice to Barrios was crystal clear: be cautious. In fact, Floyd went as far as to say that if he were in Barrios' shoes, he wouldn't take that fight. Not against Manny. Not at this stage in Pacquiao's career, when he's still dangerous and still hungry to prove he's got more left in the tank. If I got to be put in that position to be great, then that's not for me, Floyd said. So while the world debates whether Manny is too old, Floyd Mayweather is telling everyone who'll listen, don't sleep on the legend. Because once that bell rings, age won't matter. All that will matter is whether you're ready for a storm that never stops coming. But what about you, fight fans? Do you think Mario Barrios is underestimating the old legend, and will he pay the price for that? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.